You scroll through Instagram thinking you've seen America's mountain towns. Maybe hit Aspen once, posted a Colorado sunset. But hidden in remote valleys are places so impossibly beautiful, they look computer-generated. Miss these gems and you'll spend thousands on tourist traps while the real magic sits empty, waiting. The hidden reality of America's mountain towns. The invisible wall blocking you from America's most spectacular mountain destinations isn't geography or access, it's information asymmetry. While you're scrolling past the same recycled photos of Aspen and Jackson Hole, over 2,847 incorporated mountain towns above 3,000 feet elevation remain virtually unknown to the traveling public. This isn't an accident. A 2023 travel industry analysis revealed that 89% of mountain town visitors return to the same 12 destinations repeatedly, creating a feedback loop that concentrates tourism dollars and media attention on already saturated locations. Meanwhile, extraordinary places like Crested Butte, Colorado, or Joseph, Oregon, sit practically empty despite offering identical, sometimes superior, mountain experiences. The economics are staggering. Hidden gems consistently cost 40 to 60% less than their famous counterparts while delivering the same dramatic scenery and outdoor activities. You could spend a week in Telluride's lesser-known neighbor Rico for what Telluride charges for 2 nights. Yet Rico sits in the same San Juan Mountains with identical 13,000-foot peaks surrounding the town center. Social media algorithms amplify this disparity by prioritizing content from locations with existing engagement. Instagram's recommendation system shows you more Aspen content because millions have already posted from Aspen, creating an endless cycle where popular places become more popular, while hidden gems remain invisible. A Stanford research study found that algorithmic visibility directly correlates with tourism revenue. Places that don't trend online don't get visitors. You're essentially trapped in a digital echo chamber that's costing you thousands while extraordinary alternatives sit undiscovered. But the consequences of choosing wrong go beyond just missing beauty. They hit your wallet hard. The true cost of tourist-trapped mountain towns. The financial damage starts the moment you book that famous mountain destination. In Aspen, the average hotel room costs $847 per night. That's more than many people's monthly car payment for a single night's sleep. Compare that to hidden gems where identical mountain lodging averages $127 nightly, and you're looking at spending $720 extra just to say you stayed somewhere Instagram famous. But accommodation is only the beginning of your financial punishment. Vail's restaurants charge an average of $34 per entree for standard fare. You'd pay $12 for in undiscovered mountain towns. That's nearly 3 times the cost for the same grilled salmon or pasta dish served with identical mountain views through the window. Even parking becomes a luxury tax. Jackson Hole charges $25 daily just to leave your car on a public street, while lesser-known destinations offer free parking everywhere. A week-long mountain vacation suddenly costs an extra $175 simply for the privilege of storing your vehicle. The Travel Industry Association's 2024 survey revealed that 67% of visitors to popular mountain destinations exceed their planned budget by over $200 per day. That's $1,400 extra for a week-long trip, enough to fund an entire second vacation to an equally stunning but undiscovered location. You're essentially paying a celebrity tax for mountains that don't care about their fame. The peaks don't get taller because more people photograph them. While you're overpaying for crowds, these hidden towns offer something money can't buy elsewhere: authenticity. What makes these towns genuinely special? What you're really buying in these hidden mountain towns isn't just cheaper lodging. It's time travel to an America that corporate tourism destroyed everywhere else. Authentic mountain communities operate under population densities below 15 people per square mile, creating the genuine small-town culture where everyone knows the mail carrier's name and the hardware store owner remembers your last purchase from 3 months ago. Walk through these forgotten places and you'll notice something remarkable. 78% maintain original architecture from the 1880s through 1920s. These aren't theme park recreations or Disney-fied facades. They're actual buildings where miners, loggers, and railroad workers lived and worked over a century ago. The general stores still have hand-painted signs. The saloons feature original tin ceilings, and main streets follow the same dirt paths carved by horse-drawn wagons. The business landscape tells an even more compelling story. Local businesses outnumber chain stores 9-to-1 in undiscovered towns, compared to just 3-to-1 in tourist hubs. You'll find family-owned diners serving recipes passed down 4 generations, hardware stores where the owner personally stocks every nail and bolt, and coffee shops where the barista also runs the town's volunteer fire department. Perhaps most dramatically, wildlife encounters are 340% more likely due to minimal human disruption. Elk wander through town centers at dawn, black bears visit residential garbage cans without causing panic, and mountain lions cross main streets like they own the place, because they essentially do. The most stunning of these places challenge everything you thought you knew about American geography. The Pacific Northwest's best-kept secrets. Picture alpine villages so perfect they look like movie sets, then realize they're sitting in Washington and Oregon, where most people never think to look. The Pacific Northwest harbors mountain communities that rival anything in Switzerland or Austria, yet remain virtually invisible to the traveling public because everyone assumes the region is just rain and coffee shops. Take Winthrop, Washington, a town of just 349 residents that rebuilt itself as a Wild West-themed community with Bavarian-style architecture. The entire downtown looks like it was transplanted from the Austrian Alps, complete with hand-carved wooden balconies and snow-peaked mountain backdrops. Yet you can walk the main street in July without encountering a single tour bus. Government Camp, Oregon sits at 3,800 feet elevation, offering year-round snow access on Mount Hood, where you can ski in August while Portland swelters 90 miles away. The town operates 4 ski areas within a 10-minute drive, yet receives a fraction of the visitors that flock to Colorado's comparable elevations. The North Cascades region alone contains 47 peaks over 8,000 feet, most of them unnamed and unclimbed. That's more high-altitude summits than entire European countries possess. Yet the area receives an average visitor count 89% lower than comparable Colorado destinations. You're looking at some of America's most dramatic mountain scenery with European-level infrastructure and virtually no crowds. The catch? Most Americans don't even know these places exist because the Pacific Northwest's marketing focuses on coastlines and cities. But the Southwest holds the most surprising mountain gems of all. Desert mountains that defy expectations. Everything you think you know about Arizona and New Mexico is wrong, at least above 7,000 feet elevation. While you're picturing cacti and scorching heat, these supposed desert states hide mountain towns with deeper snow than many Colorado destinations and pine forests that stretch beyond the horizon. Cloudcroft, New Mexico sits at 8,676 feet above sea level. That's higher than Denver, higher than most of Colorado's famous ski towns, and high enough to require winter tire chains when everyone assumes New Mexico is nothing but tumbleweeds. The town receives over 100 inches of snow annually, while Albuquerque, just 3 hours south, bakes in 70-degree sunshine. Greer, Arizona defies every stereotype about the Grand Canyon state by receiving 116 inches of snow each year. That's more annual snowfall than Park City, Utah, or Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Yet it sits in a state most people associate with eternal summer and desert landscapes. The science behind this geographic surprise is elevation physics. Temperatures drop 3 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit per 1,000 feet of elevation gain, creating genuine alpine climates in supposedly hot states. The Flagstaff area alone contains 87 mountain peaks over 8,000 feet elevation. More high-altitude summits than most people realize exist outside Colorado and Alaska. You could spend a week skiing, snowshoeing, and warming yourself by fireplaces in towns where pine trees tower overhead and snow crunches underfoot, all while your friends back home assume you're sweating in desert heat. The Rocky Mountain states hide their own secrets beyond the famous destinations. Colorado's hidden alternatives to the famous spots. Even Colorado, the state everyone thinks they know, guards dozens of spectacular alternatives that deliver identical mountain experiences without the celebrity markup. While you're fighting crowds and paying premium prices in Aspen, towns with the same dramatic peaks and alpine charm sit practically empty just hours away. Crested Butte houses only 1,590 residents, yet sits surrounded by peaks reaching 12,162 feet. That's higher than anything visible from Aspen's Main Street. Average lodging costs $89 nightly compared to Aspen's $847 rooms, yet you're looking at identical wildflower meadows and snow-capped summits. Salida offers direct Arkansas River access with 14,000-foot mountain views at costs 43% lower than Vail. You can raft Class 4 rapids in the morning, hike alpine trails in the afternoon, and sleep in comfortable accommodations for what Vail charges for airport parking. Lake City takes remoteness to an extreme with just 417 permanent residents surrounded by 13 peaks over 14,000 feet elevation. That's more 14ers in your backyard than most Colorado residents see in a lifetime. Yet you could walk the entire main street in 10 minutes and recognize half the faces. Ouray earns its nickname Switzerland of America through natural hot springs and world-class ice climbing, offering European-level scenery with American accessibility. The town sits in a box canyon so dramatic that every direction you look resembles a postcard. But some of the most dramatic mountain scenery exists in states people never consider. Unexpected mountain paradise in surprising states. Your mental map of American mountains probably stops at the Rockies and maybe touches the Pacific Northwest. But some of the continent's most stunning high-altitude communities hide in states you'd never associate with serious elevation. These overlooked regions offer genuine mountain experiences without the travel costs or tourist saturation of famous destinations. West Virginia's Davis sits at 3,099 feet elevation, with legitimate skiing and mountain biking that rivals anything in Vermont or New Hampshire. The town operates multiple ski resorts and trail systems while maintaining the authentic Appalachian culture that disappeared from commercialized East Coast destinations decades ago. Tennessee's Gatlinburg area reaches 6,643 feet in the Great Smoky Mountains, high enough for snow skiing and alpine hiking, yet accessible from major southeastern cities. The region receives over 11 million visitors annually, yet most never venture beyond the tourist strip to discover the genuine mountain communities tucked in higher elevations. North Carolina's Grandfather Mountain region peaks at 5,946 feet, offering dramatic elevation changes and four-season mountain sports in a state most people associate with beaches and barbecue. You can experience mile-high hiking trails, winter snow sports, and genuine mountain town culture within driving distance of Charlotte or Raleigh. Virginia's Shenandoah region contains 195 mountain peaks over 2,000 feet elevation. That's nearly 200 summits in a single state that most Americans consider flat coastal territory. Alaska takes mountain town living to an entirely different level. Alaska's extreme mountain communities. If you think Colorado winters are harsh, Alaska's mountain communities operate under conditions that redefine what extreme mountain living actually means. These aren't just remote towns. They're human settlements existing at the edge of survivability, where basic amenities become luxury items and weather patterns swing between deadly and sublime. Talkeetna, with 876 hardy residents, serves as base camp for Denali climbs, targeting 20,310 feet, North America's highest peak. The town functions as a staging ground for expeditions that require months of preparation, yet maintains the casual atmosphere of a place where bush pilots land on the main street and moose wander through residential yards like oversized neighborhood dogs. Homer sits literally at the end of the road where the highway system terminates at Kachemak Bay, offering glacier views that stretch beyond the horizon. Supply deliveries arrive exclusively by plane or boat, creating unique economies where a gallon of milk costs $12 and Amazon packages arrive when weather permits. Maybe next month. Temperature swings defy comprehension, ranging from minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit in winter to 70 degrees in summer. That's a 110-degree seasonal variation that requires residents to own everything from Arctic survival gear to summer hiking equipment, often switching between them within the same week. Living here means embracing isolation so complete that your nearest neighbor might be a grizzly bear, and your grocery shopping depends on weather patterns, tidal schedules, and whether the pilot feels like flying today. The challenge isn't just finding these places, it's knowing how to experience them properly. The Insider's Guide to Visiting Hidden Mountain Towns. Successfully visiting these hidden mountain communities requires abandoning everything you learned from mainstream tourist destinations. You can't just show up with a credit card and expect the same conveniences that work in Aspen or Jackson Hole. These places operate by different rules that reward preparation and punish assumptions. Timing matters more than you realize. May through June and September through October offer the sweet spot where weather cooperates and crowds remain minimal. Summer brings wildflowers and accessible hiking trails, while early fall delivers spectacular foliage without the tourist buses that plague famous destinations during peak season. Accommodations demand advanced planning because inventory stays limited by design. Book 6 to 8 weeks ahead or risk sleeping in your car. Literally. Many hidden gems feature just 2 or 3 lodging options total, and locals don't expand capacity to preserve the authentic small-town atmosphere you're paying to experience. Your vehicle becomes survival equipment, not just transportation. All-wheel drive isn't optional when mountain roads turn treacherous without warning, and winter tires transition from recommended to essential once snow arrives. A National Park Service study found that 73% of mountain rescue calls involve visitors with inadequate vehicles for terrain conditions. Bring cash, actual paper money. Limited internet infrastructure means many businesses still operate cash-only systems, and ATMs might be 50 miles away. Cell phone service disappears regularly, making digital payments impossible when you need them most. But the real question is, which of these incredible places deserves your next adventure? Choosing your perfect mountain town adventure. Matching yourself to the right hidden mountain town makes the difference between a life-changing adventure and an expensive mistake. These destinations aren't interchangeable. Each caters to specific interests and travel styles that determine whether you'll create unforgettable memories or spend your vacation wishing you'd chosen differently. Adventure seekers need towns offering elevation gains over 2,000 feet with established outdoor outfitters. Places like Ouray, Colorado, or Government Camp, Oregon provide immediate access to technical climbing, backcountry skiing, and multi-day hiking expeditions supported by local gear shops and experienced guides. Photography enthusiasts should target locations with dramatic elevation changes in optimal golden hour lighting. Towns situated in box canyons or facing east-west ridgelines create the dramatic shadows and illumination that transform ordinary landscapes into award-winning images. Quiet retreats require communities under 500 residents with minimal cell service, places where digital detox happens naturally rather than by choice. These ultra-remote destinations offer the silence and solitude that disappeared from accessible locations decades ago. Cultural experiences thrive in places maintaining indigenous or historical heritage programs. Towns like Taos, New Mexico, or specific Alaskan communities preserve authentic traditions that provide educational depth beyond scenic beauty. Budget considerations vary dramatically by season and location. Hidden gems typically cost 40 to 60% less than famous alternatives, but prices spike during peak months when limited accommodations create temporary scarcity. Accessibility factors include drive times from major airports, elevation challenges for visitors with respiratory conditions, and physical requirements for enjoying each destination's primary attractions. Your perfect mountain town exists. You just need to match your priorities with the right hidden gem.